On Wednesday, Senator Marsha Blackburn posted a Twitter thread filled with graphics attacking President Joe Biden's $2 trillion infrastructure bill, but ended up actually doing a pretty good advertisement for it. So let me show you those graphics here. All right, so here we are. Biden's infrastructure proposal. It's the latest attempt to push through a liberal agenda. Take a look at what Biden wants taxpayer dollars going towards. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Climate change. Oof. Climate change research, studies. Wow. Something that is definitely not related to infrastructure, even though, infrastructure is affected by climate disruption because of stronger and more frequent severe weather events. No, totally nothing to do with any of that. Oh, no. Of course not. What are we talking about? I mean, come on. There's more. $220 billion for green transportation initiatives. No, not green transportation. No, which is also exactly what infrastructure is. Infrastructure. Transportation. And of course, it's also going to benefit people that live in cities where most Americans happen to live and work. And not only by, of course, reducing carbon emissions since they're green, but also this would go to increasing and improving public transit and creating sustainable jobs as a result. Okay. And yet that is putting their priorities over Americans' priorities, which is strange considering how most Americans actually do live in cities. Interesting. But hey, okay. That's just mild. All right. So now here we go with the coup de grace of terrible takes by Marsha Blackburn. President Biden's proposal is about anything but infrastructure. $400 billion towards elder care. Oh God. Oh dear God. No, not elder care. Anything but elder care. How dare you? How dare you do elder care? I mean, imagine being the party of people who are 65 plus and then having the message of fuck old people in your care. I mean, it seems kind of out of step with their actual voters. And of course, there's a reason for that. It turns out this happens to be incredibly popular with the American people. This infrastructure bill. In fact, why don't we take a look at the poll numbers here on this? I got a visual. Oh, look at that! According to a Politico Morning Consult poll, this is all the stuff that's part of Biden's infrastructure bill happens to be incredibly popular. And as Jose points out, weird that a majority of Republicans like it though, even though all this stuff it apparently is socialism. It's the devil. It's terrible. We hate this infrastructure bill because something Joe Biden China or something weird. Very, very strange. Very strange. It's almost as if Marsha Blackburn is nothing more than a clueless reactionary and doesn't actually give a shit about policy. Weird. Anything though in libs, I guess, even if it screws over our own voters. Don't care. So now this got panned online, and it's funny, so I'm going to actually give you some of these responses here. But first, it turns out even the Democratic Party, their Twitter account, which regularly gets owned by leftists all the time, they were able to own someone online this time, and that's Marsha Blackburn. They used this image as an advertisement and said, POTUS's job plan makes needed investments in caregiving, giving seniors and people with disabilities the care they need while giving care workers the raise they deserve. Well done. Well done on that. Wow. A tweet so bad that it makes the Democrats look good. Well done. Well done on that one. But from here, the responses actually get even worse. One person says, you're just further proof of how utterly beyond salvaging today's GOP is. Each of you Republican senators is just a soulless husk, void of a heart, morals, or any ideas of value, mere grifters and racists, willing to say and do anything for money. The future be damned. What a legacy. Oof. Wow.
Who's got a hammer?
She brought a hammer. She brought a hammer. That's what that was. Ouch. Okay, anyway. More. Hey, remember how Texas's infrastructure went down for a week or more because of the electric grid wasn't equipped for climate change? Yeah. This is about infrastructure, lady. Good. Another person says, did the Biden administration pay Marsha for this tweet? True. It's a good question. It really is a good question. Another person asks, are these supposed to be bad things? Look, they're good things, and I'm for good things. Now, of course, look, you ask me from a leftist perspective, I'm always going to say that stuff like this isn't enough, that we need to continue to push further. But I also take the W. That's if, of course, there is a W. And that brings me to the problem. None of the ghouls, none of the GOP ghouls in Congress are going to support this. Okay, we know that. Republicans, they're against their own constituents, by the way. They're against their own demographic. They're more than happy to say, fuck grandma. We saw that during the coronavirus pandemic when they said, well, you know what, just let's all go out and live our lives. Let's open everything up. And if grandma dies, grandma dies. Sorry, sad day for you. I mean, so we know that. We know that they don't care about their people. They don't care about their base. And so, no, they're not going to support something because it's popular. Okay? They are not populists at all. In fact, they only stand for their donors, which is funny because their donors also benefit from this. Mitch McConnell has come out and said, well, I have some problem with the spending. And, oh, you're trying to raise taxes in the rich. The current tax proposal, of course, is to raise the corporate tax rate to 28%, up from Trump's 21%. By the way, this is not the low, or I'm sorry, it wouldn't be the highest corporate tax rate. Back in the 1960s, I believe it was 1969, we had the highest corporate tax rate in this country, which was about 53%. That's how high it was. 28% is not going to be, it's not going to destroy the business community. And that's one of the biggest lies, of course, that you hear from conservatives, from Republicans. And guess what? People like Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to do this through budget reconciliation. He's against that. And he's against, of course, blowing up the filibuster. And in fact, he just recently came out and said, there's no way I will ever do anything to limit the power of the filibuster or eliminate the power of the filibuster. We're going to do things with Republican support, which means this bill not going to happen. This is not going to happen at all. So people that want to do infrastructure, even though we have got, crumbling roads and bridges and, we've got all this stuff that we need to do to get us ready for climate change or to try to mitigate climate change, not going to happen because one person has held the Senate and he's holding it hostage. And I say that one person because we know the Republicans are too ghoulish, are terrible people, don't really care about the environment, don't really care about the future. In fact, their entire thing is trying to bring us back to the past. Well, that one person that could make a difference in this case is Joe Manchin, who, as I said before, is refusing to do anything. And so Biden's agenda, as mild and milquetoast as it is from my perspective, and even though it would be generally a positive thing to get done in most respects, is not going to happen even as mild and milquetoast as it is. And it's all Joe Manchin's fault for now having us to have to go back to Republicans and give them essentially everything that they want or something important that they want to even try to get them to the table. And whatever it is, I can guarantee that, hey, they're not going to be interested in doing. We're not going to be interested in doing as well, because it turns out that anything that they bring to the table is going to be terrible. Usually. So, Joe Manchin, the worst. The worst. One asshole in West Virginia. And by the way, it's ironic because in West Virginia, they need infrastructure the most. This kind of shows you how Republicans, along with their ally, Joe Manchin, are completely out of step with most of the American people, and of course how deeply broken the Senate is. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.